Welcome back to Legal Point. I'm Carrie Kasem. My guest today, Julie Steinbacher, founding shareholder of Steinbacher, Goodall, and Yurchak. One of my favorite guests to have on the show. It's been a few times. We recently had a Kasem Cares Conference on Aging, 2016. Our first one. Julie not only attended, but was a speaker there. And we had a really good time. I think we all learned a lot. It was a really great group of people.
It was a fantastic conference, and it did so much to raise awareness about elder abuse. My hat's off to you, Carrie.
Great job. Thank you. And thank you for being a part of it. Really meant a lot. You flew across the United States to be there, so thank you.
It's an important issue.
Thank you. And what you do is help people, and if I were to walk into your office for the first time, and I remember learning these words when I was dealing with my dad, but power of attorney. What is that? What's a durable power of attorney? A durable power over health. What does that mean, and how important are they?
Yeah, so if you walked into my office, we would help you answer two questions, which is what happens if you die? What happens if you don't die and you get sick? And so many times people think that an attorney just answers that first question, what happens if you die? But the second question is just as important, which is what happens if you don't die and you get sick? And that's where the durable power of attorney comes in, the healthcare power of attorney. For me, it's the most important document you can have, because all a power of attorney is a written set of instructions that says, if I can't make my own decisions, this is who I want to make it. And it could be for finances. It could be for health care. The word durable itself means it survives your incapacity. And every state is going to be a little bit different. I can remember when I was a kid, my dad's law office, I'd run down to this little store called Plank and Horns, and you get a form that said, it was just a one-page form that says, I appoint this person my power of attorney. And they could make any decision. Today, in the world of privacy, they break it down.
The HIPAA laws,
yes,
right? Yes.
They break it down. And so that's why you have this financial power of attorney. You have a healthcare power of attorney. Some states are called proxies. They can be called advanced directives.
Right.
But bottom line, most important document you can have. It basically says, if you cannot tell somebody else what you want, if you're in a car accident, who is going to talk to the doctor? Who's going to pay your bills? Who do you trust? It's the most important document that you can have. And so many times people call my office and they say, how do we start the conversation? How do we get our parents to do this? And healthcare is always a great way to start, because it's not about the money. It's about being able to see people. It's about being able to make sure they're not abused. It's about being able to make sure you have information. And so that healthcare power of attorney is just so, so important.
And that's what we had over our father, was just a durable power over health, not estate, not money, nothing else. And of course there's those too. But we had that so we could see our dad. Now, in 2011, my dad quit his show, American Top 40, in 2009. He could no longer read his scripts. It was very hard. He got very confused very fast. But we had it before the disease, Lewy body dementia, progressed to that stage. In 2007, he signed over that durable power. He was all there. We had him on tape. We videotaped the whole thing. My whole family was there, except for his wife, because this is what we were going to have to use it. We knew that she would block him. We took precautions because she had done this to her own siblings with her mom. So we took precautions, and we had this done so we could see Dad when he did get sick. In 2011, she said he signed over something else. Now, if he couldn't read his American Top 40 script and understand that, how is he going to, in 2011, 2 years later, understand a durable power of attorney? So now you have conflicting, and this is what happened to us, conflicting durable powers. What happens then? What happens when you find somebody's maybe been manipulated?
Yeah, so, when we look at that and just at the law, we're always going to say, well, the most recent document rules.
Right.
And so you were in a situation where you had to, overturn that document, either because he didn't understand what he was doing, he lacked capacity. All of those things are hard because you're not just taking on that person that was appointed, you're also taking on that attorney whoever was there when the document was actually signed, if there was one. It's always hard for families to do. But it's, I think, in your dad's situation, he had such brilliance or foresight to know you guys were going to be the better decision makers. And when we work with our clients, that's what we always want. We always want them to really, really think about who's going to be there at the end of the day that can make good decisions. And, Carrie, people come in my office and sometimes they say, well, I'm going to appoint my spouse, or I'm going to appoint my oldest son because he wants to, or I'm going to appoint this girl because she's local. People should not do that. They know who the best decision maker is. They should appoint the best decision maker. In your situation, your dad knew your sister, Julie.
Yes.
Was the best decision maker.
She was the one, and she was the one at the end. I fought in the courtroom, and I could fight that fight, but when it came to the medical care, she had to make those decisions. And I was so happy that he did that. And he did. He left it to my sister first, then to me, and then to my brother. And we all made the decision, but she was the one that got to the hospital and started making the decisions, and we're so glad she was there.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense because, she has a background in that. And during his life, that's who he asked, was her and her husband. And so, he knew what he was doing at that point in time, and he made a good decision about who should talk for him.
Absolutely.
And I think people need to know, too, sometimes, I thought it was cute at the conference when you talked about the fact that you just couldn't let go.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at letting go. I'm a fighter too. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I remember when my stepdad was so sick, I wasn't ready to say, this is it. It's hard. Some of us are fighters and some of us are, and I think that's even more important too in a decision-making process. Sometimes I really challenge my clients about appointing their spouse.
Yes.
And not because it's necessarily a step parent, but also just because, is that person at the end of the day going to be able to let go? And so, I think it's so important if people really think about planning ahead. And the power of attorney is the most important document. But I urge everybody out there, if you're listening and you go to an elder law attorney and you decide that you're going to do this, think about your decision maker. Think about who at the end of the day is going to be fair and collaborative and is going to be able to make the decisions that are necessary.